Wi-Fi check, audio check. Looks good to go. Good morning, guys. I just made it here in time today too. Just made it. Late night last night. Good morning. Okay, let's get sorted out here. We have a show and tell here this morning. Kind of interesting one, and I might need your help for this. I know what it is, but I need to look up more information on it. You guys can help me with that. For now, let's put this aside somewhere. No connection. Nobody there today. Okay. I didn't have to rush to get here, it seems. I think I had better sharpen up first. There's somebody there. Good morning, John. It's the weekend, which means my camera is supposed to be outside, but when I got down here about 20 minutes ago to set this up, I'm running late this morning. When I got down here to set it up, there's just enough wind to push the rain under the shutter. So I didn't want to leave the camera out in the rain, so we're just going to have our normal from inside view here today. And no alignment. Oh, on January. January. Okay. See you then, sir. Hey, January. What am I doing here? Have you noticed with our friend here, the flask, we cleaned it up. What was it, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? I can't remember. Have you noticed what's happening? If you can get this light, you can see it. It's green, and it's inside. They have returned. I suppose I should put disinfectant or something in there. I just don't like having that stuff around, so. Yeah, okay. Snow country, Nuki Goonie to show. Good. But get, of course, get something warm. Absolutely. Especially if you're staying in any kind of old-fashioned place, a ryokan or a minshku or whatever. Modern hotels or whatever. But if you're staying in an old-fashioned place in snow country in winter, be prepared for... No, I didn't add bleach at all. I didn't add anything. I said, I don't like that. So anyway, it's okay. It'll come back and we'll kill it. It'll come back. It's more fun this way. The first 2 trips I made to Japan was back in the late 1970s. And then, I forget the next one. I can't remember. No, it was 77, 79, whatever. I can't remember. I was working for the music store. And I put a new IT system in. And then I got 3 months sabbatical. So I keep sabbatical 3 months. Off, whatever, 3 months, no work. So I came here with my then new girlfriend, and we came in, whatever, we arrived in late November or something. So we were here in December, January, February. And we traveled all around, up north, up to the Tohoku. We didn't go to Hokkaido, but we traveled to the tip of Tohoku and then down to the Kansai on the trains. We're taking the slow trains all the way. And staying in little tiny, youth hostels at that time. They were there. And my God, we were frozen solid for 3 months. Young and in love, whatever, but we were frozen solid. We had a great time. No, that's not quite true. When we went up north and when we were in Tokyo and in Nagoya, we were cold. But I took a solo trip. She didn't want to go with me. I took a solo trip down to the to the Izu Hanto, the Izu Peninsula. And I hiked around the outside of the Izu Peninsula for 1 week. And it was gloriously warm. And this would have been in, I don't know, December or January. I can't remember which one. and the sun shone, and that place was warm, and there was summer meat on everywhere. So Izu is nice. Can be warm. But the north side of the country, my God. Did I turn my nose up at you when I asked about the Rugby World Cup? I'm not sure. Are you talking about me or the other people here? I don't know. Oh, this is Tom. Yeah, your sister was here. Yeah, the girl from the couple from Israel, the show. I didn't do their party. I was here, and they did the party with the staff, and then asked me to come in and take pictures together and stuff like that. The girls told me that your sister and her friend did a really good job on the print. So, colorful people, eh? I was upstairs working with Cameron at that time, and Teiko-san, who did the party with your sister, came upstairs and said, "Dave, there's a couple downstairs who want to see you, want to meet you." So she brought me downstairs and met your sister. For those of you who don't know what's going on, this Tom gentleman here, his sister was here doing a party. And as I said, I was called down, "Dave, there's somebody who wants to meet you." So I came downstairs, and the young lady, they just finished their party. She took a picture and said thank you, and said her brother had told her to come over here and stuff like this. And then she did something a bit strange. She had one of our staff, whatever, hold the camera and turn the video on. And I was supposed to, like, she said, say hi to my brother. I'm like, do I know this person? She says, no, whatever. He's a fan, just say hi. So here I am talking to this camera. Hi, Tom. I'm trying to say something interesting and sensible. So this kind of stuff happens not every day, but almost every day. It's good fun. Thanks for your enthusiasm for our work. It's good fun. And it's pleasing for us when people are excited and enthusiastic about what we're doing here. Well, I should mention too what I was doing. At the time that Teiko-san came upstairs to grab me, there's these people downstairs that want to talk to you. At the time this happened, I was in a meeting, whatever, with Cameron and the printers. And what we were doing was, I can't say negotiating, that's the wrong word for it. We were in the process of calculating the new prices for the printers for all of our Hunger Club prints. Now, we've just made our new gift print, and clearly it's a very complex print, and we have to make sure we pay the printers enough for it. And while we were at it, we went through the whole Hunger Club catalog together, me and Cameron and Aoyama-san and Suga-san and Kawai-san and Dei-chan. And we worked out new prices for all of the prints in the Hunger Club catalog. Everything's going up. Everything is going up. The prices, we've been moving them up little by little over the last year. And the simple way to describe it is supply and demand. And the problem is there's huge demand for all of our works right now, not just here, but for all over Tokyo. And there are no printers. I mean, printers are working, but there are not enough printers to go around. I told so many stories. We got a phone call a couple of weeks ago, somebody asking, can I introduce them to our carver, Kawasaki-san? And I said, no, she's busy, she's full. They're in demand. The printer, Sakai-san from Sakai Kokodo, the print shop down the street, he came in one day last month. I told you about this. He said, I've got some blocks. Can I send them over here for have your printers print them? I said, no. So with all the printers being in extremely high demand, there's headhunting going on all over the place. You've got to move their rates up. You can't do that. If you don't put the prices for the printers up, you're going to lose them. And it's also not fair to keep them pressed down when there's such demand for their services. So we put the price up on all the Hunger Club prints, and we've raised the printers' rates more than the amount that we've set the retail price at. It was in the middle of those discussions yesterday when I got called downstairs. Before I started my own business, when I heard about this stuff, supply and demand, we all know the basics about this because we've looked at it in school. And before I had a business myself, I'm thinking, what's the deal? So there's big demand for our products. It means we're going to sell them well. Why should the price increase just because there's higher demand? And for a layman, it doesn't seem to make any sense. It means the guy who runs the business pockets more money. He gets richer. He buys a bigger Mercedes. just because there's bigger demand. That's not how it works. The costs go up when there's higher demand. In our case right now, the cost for running a workshop, the cost of having printers, because there's high demand and low supply, the cost of hiring a printer goes up. And that gets reflected, of course, in the price. So, did I finish printing on the key block? I did the 150 copies last Monday, and there's 7. We split in half. Kawai-san is doing the colors on 75 of those. Rei-chan's doing 75. And of course, we're nearly sold out already. We opened the gift page the other day. I haven't seen the total yet, but they're whatever, almost all gone. So next Tuesday, on the shop closing day, I will be upstairs doing another 150 copies. And that's what we're going to run until the panic settles down. The next group of 150 will split 75-75. Subi-san, the girl you meet here sometimes, she'll get 75 copies. And Ishikawa-san will get 75 copies. And then we'll take it a week after that, we'll see what happens. And maybe after that, whatever, the printers, we're going to have to get them to do this one by themselves. I can't keep printing all the head key blocks for this print. Just a second, get this out of the way. Before I forget, I'll probably forget to mention it at the end of this stream, but today's Saturday here in Tokyo. The next stream will be 2 days from now, 2 days from now, Monday morning, and there will be a guest. It'll be a guest stream. The schedule says, Cameron told me, and there's emails back and forth, I'll be visited by Cal Carlisle. He's been here once before, actually. He's, I don't know what his real job is over in America, but he's working on learning how to make prints in this style. And he would be here visiting to say hello. And I got a heads up from him that he said, Dave, I will be bringing something to show you from fellow printmaker John Amos in America. And I said, what? I'm like, no idea. They didn't tell me. It's going to be whatever, something on the stream, a show and tell, an outside show and tell. I have no idea what they're talking about. Knowing John, though, he's been working on that set of prints for the Appalachian Trail. And maybe the set is finished. I don't know. I haven't been in touch with his blog that much. It could be. Maybe on Monday we're going to see the unveiling of the Appalachian set. I hope so. I've got my order in there for that. Maybe I shouldn't say because I don't know. They haven't told me what's going on. But if that's the case, then I will really, really, really be excited about that. John's been working on that for years, and he works so hard on that thing. He's done an incredible job, absolutely incredible job. Yeah, that's Monday. Cal will be here Monday morning. Got some Patreon prints. Thank you very much. Good. No, thank you for the support. Thank you for the support. Tom's asking, are we streaming always at this time? 3 days a week. It used to be 6 days a week. We do it now 3 days a week. Tokyo time is Saturday morning, like we are now, which is Sunday. No, it's Friday evening for most people in America, for example. We stream Monday morning in Tokyo, which is Sunday evening. And we stream Thursday morning here, which is Wednesday evening. It used to be 6, and in the very beginning when we did this, I did it twice a day. I was just, whatever, we were just trying and seeing what would happen. I streamed 6 days a week at 8 o'clock, and then I did it again at 5:30 when the shop closed. It was absolutely, totally insane. Of course, it became impossible. It was impossible to sustain. And the problem with the 5:30 time, of course, was that the shop was open. We can't do this stream and do all that stuff and whatever when the shop is open. So I'm sorry that it worked out that way. I started 12 times a week, then it was 6, and now it's 3, and then it's going to be 2, and then 1, and then 0. That's not the idea. I think we've got a good, stable system now. It was just simply the early experiments were not sustainable. I think I'd had the idea that it was just, you turn the camera on, you can basically ignore it. So it wouldn't matter, you could run it all day long and it wouldn't make any difference. But that's not the kind of stream we're running, of course. So. And people also ask, Dave, just put a camera up in the shop and leave it turned on all day. And that's not, it's almost certainly not legally possible for me to do that. It's a privacy issue, of course. Shops do have cameras running, I don't know, what do you call them, security cameras and stuff. But there are issues with what you can show publicly, of course. So. The shop is just a shop, there's nothing. Six days a week, twice a day. Yeah, right. Can we zoom in a bit more, can we? I didn't put in a new blade, no, we're still working on the oval, it's doing very well. I just sharpened it a few minutes ago, but as we mentioned before, when a blade gets short and down to the very end of it, it's almost always the case that it turns out to be really, really, really nice steel. It seems to be a bit hard and it's brittle and it breaks a bit easier, but it really, really gets sharp. I don't really understand all the dynamics of the carbon and all that stuff that goes into the steel, but this is a thing that before a blade dies, before it gets too short, it gives you really good performance. And I guess we're looking at what we're using as this part of the steel. It's the part where the guy was holding it. He holds it, puts it in the forge, brings it out, hammers, holds it, puts it back in the forge, hammers some more. So it's the part, I guess the steel will get really quite hot at the tip, and then down towards the part where he's holding it, he's got these metal grips holding it. That'll be a heat sink, I guess. So the heat probably is not quite so hot at this point. He hammers it down. Again, I don't know anything beyond the gross structure of how it's done. But it's very, very common for the last few days of a knife's life to be really, really, really high quality. Or whether it's confirmation bias, I don't know. You expect it to be like that, so you sort of see this, you look for it. I really don't know. This is anecdotal evidence. This is not science here. But whatever, anecdotal evidence is experience, right? So same thing. The blade, I know. The blade is here, and when you get a new blade, it extends all the way down inside the handle. The new blade will run from about there right down to the back of the handle here. This one I've got now, can you see where it is? This is empty, 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 empty. There's the end of the blade right there. So we're at the very end of this thing, and once I sharpen more, we're done with it. And also the usable part of the steel. Let's get out of it and see. Yeah. Now this part is totally not usable. It's not annealed, heat treated. The blade is longer. He puts it in the flame, hammers, 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 puts it in the flame, hammers, 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 hammers. And he's got the grips, of course, that are holding this thing as he's hammering it. And he comes down to about here, and somewhere around here, I think just under the tape. No, it's already gone off. He puts his name on the back, and that's already now been dressed off, because while I was sharpening the tool. So we are really at the end of it here now. This dull part, which is not sharpenable, extends up to somewhere around here. So I'm on the last. I've got maybe 5 or 6 millimeters left to go. We'll see. As I mentioned before, the last part of this tool ends up being really nice and sharp, and then it suddenly reaches a point where it won't sharpen anymore because the heat and the hammering has not come down that far. So this blade now is at its last maybe centimeter. If I pull out, look, I think I threw them into my box here, so hang on a sec. I might have a... Here we are. Here's a previous discard here. This is just in my toolbox here. This is a blade that came down to the end, and that's it. It I tried to sharpen it, and it just wouldn't sharpen. It wouldn't work. So we had reached the end of the steel. And actually, this was one that I must have been using for really delicate work, because look at this. I filed the back off it. I must have been carving hairlines or something fair. So I did like Ito-san's blade. I filed the back off to make it thinner, and then dressed it down. And then that just, whatever, it's been retired into my box. Over in Ome, there must be a drawer full of hundreds of those little fragments of the blade. So you can see, I said about a centimeter, maybe somewhere around there. So it'll come down to about there. So I've got a bit left on this. And because I knew I was getting to the end of this, I prepared the other day, last time I went back to Ome, I brought back from my stock room over there, I brought back here the next two blades. These are unused blades from my supplier. This is how I get them. There's two left. I think I've got a dozen or so left back in Ome. I have enough now of myself for the rest of my life, I think. At the level I've been carving recently. I think I have enough blades now personally for myself for the rest of my life. I know the knife blade thing, it's not one of those things that is totally lost to the world here in Japan. I mean, we have trouble with getting washi paper. There's very, very few suppliers, washi paper that is suitable for printmaking. But blades and stuff, because it's a wider field, carpenters need blades, shrine carpenters need blades, sword people need it. There's people doing things with steel all over the country. It's not just for woodblock printmakers. Getting a blade made that's exactly the right size and shape for us is not so common. But there are people doing this all over the country. So it's not that, oh my God, I've got the last blades to run for my life and I'm not getting any better. That's not the situation here. Stones, my natural stone. What type and mine is it from? I don't have any idea. I don't work at that level. My natural stone is just a common garden natural stone. It's also not quite flat. I've been a bit careless with it at the moment. We chatted about this before. I know when Shimano-san was alive, the guy who did the block planing for us, planed all the wood for the blocks, he worked on cherry wood with wide planes, and he had 5 of them by his side, super fine, super fine, whatever set. And for him, the stones were critical. Which level, which mine, which strata in which mountain, and all that kind of stuff. Because he could feel and tell the difference. I can't. I'm not looking at that level at all. With blades of the size of ours, this tiny little area of steel, that's all we have to sharpen is such a tiny area. Any stone will do. It's okay. Maybe there are people out there who can work at the level that I don't see. We take off the edge. You see, when I sharpen it, before I use it, I cut back the edge of it to take off the sharpest point. Otherwise, it breaks straight away. So no, which mine is my stone from? That's not my level of work, I'm sorry. Any news about the Gampi? No, still hanging on. Absolutely, we will let you know. Nothing else I can say. We're just sitting here waiting for it. We are not a high priority customer for that guy. We're the new kid on the block. He's been dealing with paper dealers for all his life, and we are new people putting an order in. So we are not going to get high priority, high service. Get in line, get in line. Supply and demand. Talking about supply and demand. Why am I using a wide blade for the lettering? I think I am. I'm using my normal blade. Why am I using a wide blade? This is my normal blade, and it's sharpened at basically just an average. Is it about 45 degrees, the angle there? I'm not sure. It looks about pretty much average for me. Is it about 45? Now, I'm really gun shy of sharpening it at a more acute angle because it just breaks so much. This angle here is enough to get me in here. Look, it'll get me into that corner. It'll get me part way around this corner here. I won't try and do that thing all in one scoop. I did it once, and now I'm going to do a second part of this curve. And then we've got it. So we've got this thing. I did that in 2 passes. Maybe we'll take a slice off here too. There aren't, actually, there. If it was all tiny circles or something here, what's an example? I can't see any that are bad. If it was all like this, if it was all little circles like this or something, then I would need this blade to be at a more acute angle to go around all those really sharp little corners like that. But this calligraphy doesn't have such things, so this is okay. The more acute you make it, the more you're going to break it. And this is just about right for this work I'm doing here today. Maybe if I was in better shape, if I was doing this every day, a lot more hours each day, and I was more sensitive to the feel of when it was about to break, I could get away with a sharper angle. But I am in no way in good shape on this. I'm carving 1 hour a day, 3 days a week. So I'm being very conservative and slow and staying on the safe side of the margins of error here. Lost the tip of the knife here. It's not a big break, but a very little tip is broken off. I need it to get in those places. When you go into a corner like this, you need the tip. Back to the stone for a minute. A master like Dave is using tape. It's not a good idea, you know. It should be a normal brass. I forget the range name for these rings. This is not good, you know. Don't do what I do. Is it raining there? It was raining when I came down. I don't know if it's still raining. I don't see any wet bouncing. No, it's. Oh yeah, somebody went by with an umbrella. Yeah, it's trying to. It's trying to rain. It's going to be a long rainy day. The forecast for this weekend is for rain all over Tokyo area. And I guess it's quite heavy rain last night in, where was it? In Mie Prefecture. There's people who got, you know, really clobbered by the typhoon last week and their houses are damaged, and now it's pouring rain on top of that. Most people, I think, are just waiting for the winter to get here. Cold is okay, but there won't be any rain once the winter gets here. So. How's our time? Remind me, you know, that the show and tell will take, whatever, 15 minutes or so. So please remind me about that. We're a ways away yet. There's a bit of to make prints during the winter, less chance of foxing, molding, etc. I know if that's the main concern, the mold and everything else. Mold. Foxing, I have no idea about. The mold, of course, summer is trouble, so winter is no problem. It's plus minus though. When we do it in the winter, the room is colder, the paper is colder, it's harder. We have to decrease the amount of glue in the sizing. The whole structure is different. But yeah, I prefer the winter, very much prefer the winter. And I hear that in the old days, back in Edo time, again, this is sort of hearsay rather than scientific knowledge. I hear that a great amount of the woodblock printing work was done in Edo time during the winter. And part of it was because they had a part-time labor force. What you'd do is there would be people who would be up in the Tohoku region or whatever growing rice. And once the snow sets in our areas up there, Fukushima or those more mountainous areas up towards the snow country and stuff, that there was a movable labor force. They would come down in the winter to the main cities, to Edo or to Osaka, whatever, for work and printing of simple stuff like printing of books. We're not talking about the top quality Utomaro Bijinga or something. Day-to-day Joe work, printing for books, the food wrappers, whatever, you name it. And that would have been done mostly in the winter by this part-time labor force. You're trained enough after a few days to be able to print book pages. That's okay. That doesn't need any special attention whatsoever. So winter was the time. And book publishing, you can find a huge number of books from the old days. They're marked with a publication date of the beginning of the year in winter. So it seems that winter was the time for this job. There was a core of professionals that worked all year long, and then a huge migratory labor force that came in and did this stuff during the winter. So I am told, or so I read. That's actually a bit too sharp. Just a minute. That's a bit too sharp. Just a second here. I think I was chatting too much and I didn't knock off the back of it. So, a bit too sharp. Too sharp. I mean, too sharp meaning as in it's like a razor at the edge. And as soon as I touch it to the wood, it will just crumble at the edge. So the edge was just, what can I say? I sharpened it on the stone, on the flats, on the bevel like this, to a razor edge, then at the back. And it left the edge just too sharp. So what I just did, and I've done this usually when I'm sharpening it, on the flat stone, lift it up, and just on the flat stone, just a couple of strokes, with the back lifted up, and that takes off the very front of the edge there. It's just too sharp. It would just crumble going into the stone. That's why we talked about these. Do I have these special sharpening stones from mountain number X and strata number Y? No. If you're doing this scientifically to try and get the blade and then put it under a microscope and check the edge of it, you need those special stones, with super fine grit and stuff like this. I don't work at that level. Absolutely. Too sharp, too thin. Whatever, the point just gets too sharp. Yeah, a micro bevel, whatever. It's a back bevel which took away the very edge. And otherwise, literally, the very first touch to the wood would just destroy it. I know there was something else I was supposed to ask you guys about. Good, good, good. Cameron was supposed to remind me about this. He's not here today. What time is this? What time is it now? I've got, well, hey, I need some advice. Festivals, I don't know. Just Google festivals in late July. I don't remember. So somebody's already finding you interesting events. Okay. Anyway, advice. I need some advice. I'll keep coming here. I don't know. I opened my website in 1990. I forget, 1996 or 1997. This was not our Mokohanka website. It was the woodblock.com website. And it grew and it grew and it grew and it grew and it grew. It grew to be a huge mess. It's still a mess. It's out there, whatever. Anyway, long story short, after 10 years of it, when 2006 or 2007 came along, I don't remember the year we're talking about here, the website had been up and running for 10 years. So I thought it would be a kind of a cool idea to help celebrate the 10th anniversary of our website by running a little contest. I prepared a little bunch of questions on the website, what to answer, and if you clicked and got them right, then your email address went into a hat. We pulled all the names out of a hat, and then sent some gift prints. I gave some prints. I actually gave away some quite large prints. It was kind of cool, but it was very, 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 very small scale, because back then in 2006, before I did YouTube, there wasn't many followers, whatever. Dozens of people joined in on the contest, dozens of people. Next November 1st, 2 weeks from now, is the 5th anniversary of opening our Asakusa shop. And the kids are like saying, Dave, what are we going to do? Are we going to have a sale? Are we going to do this? We're going to do that? Well, we're not going to have a sale. Our prints are already at the price they got to be. But we should do something to celebrate this 5 years. Remember, most new shops, when you open a new shop, it's gone in 3 months or 6 months or whatever. Well, here we are 5 years later. So I want to think about doing something on the website that is some kind of event or contest or whatever. And it might not be a bad idea to do the same kind of things I did before. If we had a section of the website, come over here, answer 5 or 6 questions or whatever about our work. And the idea, the one I did years ago, was that people would think, I can't answer this. They get on Google, they go and look inside our website and find the answer. So they had a double effect. It was a bit of publicity for us, and people started poking around the website to see what was in there. So yeah, I'm thinking about this. So if you want to check out the old contest, this is historically survived on the website. It's woodblock.com/diversions/anniversary. That will take you to the old website. And there's a link at the bottom of that page that shows you the questions and things that we asked at that time. So if you've got a minute, take a look at that and come back to me with some ideas on how I could adapt that or arrange that or use that for something happening now in our contemporary life. What kind of contest could we run here at Mokohankan that would celebrate our 5th anniversary? We can give away some prints. It's not just give me your email address, put them in a hat and draw random. That's no fun. Let's make it into something where you've got to do something, answer some questions or look at the website or do whatever. John's found it. Whatever, ideas. 2 contests, yeah, whatever, ideas. Just throw me ideas. Let's talk about this. It's November the 1st. Actually, we had a guerrilla opening the night before, October 31st. Somebody came for a print party. They were flying November 1st, so they asked to do a print party the evening before, and we did it as a test. But anyway, November 1st is the official anniversary. And I really would like to do something. And Cameron says, what are you going to give away? A gift print? Something? I said, no, let's do this, like, for example, with maybe 5 or 10 prizes, whatever. Because tons of people, if we do this on Instagram and Facebook, tons of people are going to come in. Let's do, for example, top prize is a free subscription to next year's print set or whatever. And then maybe the scroll that's hanging on the wall here. We've got a bunch of extra scrolls. We could do one of those. Something like this. Let's make it interesting and exciting and make it worthwhile for people to do this. And then make some of the questions difficult. So they've actually got to spend a little bit of time doing this. So not a test. It's whatever. Anyway, not just right now here in the stream today, but if you have any ideas about this or you're thinking about this, drop me an email or in the stream today or next week or whatever, because I've got to get this going. November 1st is the anniversary, and it should sort of be up and running 1 week before this and 1 week after this, and then have the draw and stuff like that. So I've got to get going on this, really got to get going on this. So throw me some ideas. Throw me some ideas, please. And I don't have time to build graphic stuff like here, click here and drag the cone and line up the cones, and when you get it right inside 2 seconds, you know, whatever. I don't have time to build something like that. I'm sorry. That would be fun, but it doesn't, there's no time to do that. We're talking about maybe, well, I don't know, I shouldn't say anything but to preconceive, just whatever, ideas. 5 years. 5 years of my life already gone. I can't imagine how quickly this has gone. You just blink. Just blink and it disappears. But yeah, that's kind of a cool achievement, I think, you know, 5 years running this place. First on the second floor, then on the third floor, and now on the first floor. That contest back then, as I said, I think dozens of people applied. It was funny. Oh, well, it was fun back then, you know. There weren't many people around, but it was fun. We used to stream from with the Ustream system, and 3 or 4 people would watch. You know? And before that, I streamed with a webcam, like 1 picture every 8 seconds. It took a photograph, uploaded to the website. People downloaded it at their end, and this was called streaming. Good fun. Fruitcake. I don't need ideas for prizes. I need ideas for the questions, or for the entry part of it. No, I wouldn't do accounts. You must have a Facebook account. No way, I wouldn't do this over Facebook. They've got their own built-in quizzes, click buttons. I would not do that. We're going to build our own sim here. We're going to build our own. So relax. I wouldn't even think about doing that. Run a contest over on Facebook. No, thank you. No, thank you. What I need here are ideas, or something to make this interesting. What people have to actually do to, quote, enter this thing. Submitting videos, boy oh boy, that's kind of interesting, but I do have to think about how much time I can spend on this. This is our busiest season right now. I was late getting to this stream this morning, almost late, because I was up last night. We announced our gift page yesterday, and now Cameron and I are in overdrive. We've got a good software system here. Cameron was at the computer screen non-stop all day yesterday, answering emails, getting the orders processed. And it's going to be like this now for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. I don't know. The time burden on us now is huge. And of course the shop is busy every day. On one day last week, Thursday, and one of the young girls booked off sick. Somebody else didn't show up. I had to do all the print parties. Doing a bunch of video editing for this contest is probably not something I should even consider taking on. So that would be fun. Video messages from the fans, that would be fun. But I don't think I can take on such a project at the moment. I'm sorry. Time is okay here, right? Yeah, in fact, that came up yesterday. The staff, we were chatting about this, and somebody said questions relating to some of the YouTube videos, and that was an interesting idea. But suppose we had a question, blah blah blah, video, blah blah blah. They go to our YouTube channel. There's 120 videos there. Like, you're going to listen to 120 videos to try and find the answer to this question. How do we get practical on that? I don't know. Another idea that came up, I've just finished renovating and fixing the blog we had, which slept for many years. And when we moved to a new server, so I wrote a script that went through and rewrote the blog and made new style sheets and put it all up. So that's another idea here. Our blog over there, it's mokohankan.com/conversations. When you go to the blog on the front page, on the right-hand column, you'll see a link to the table of contents. And that might be a source here. The table of contents of the blog has entries going back to like about 2006. And using those as a key or as a hint, you can find a lot of old information. The YouTube videos are, where do I start? But on that blog table of contents, you can search that page itself for some information. So, if we had a question related to how many prints did we put into our Senshafada series that we published, blah, 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 you could find that easily there. And we could also give people a hint about how to use Google search with a site. So if we had a question related to, say I just said Senshafta, we published some prints years ago, you can search for the word, if you're in Google, Senshafta site :mokohankan.com. And Google will pull you up a very nice set of search results just related to our website. So I don't know, but I'm not sure, just trivia. It's not so interesting. I'd like something to do a bit more The shoe lady, yeah, whatever. She comes earlier these days, and we haven't talked about her because I kind of wanted to lay it back. She's on a different train schedule, and she comes now about 6 or 7 minutes before the stream starts, which is, and we've seen her many, many times. Never talked to her, but we've seen her. So the shoe lady can kind of just go to bed for a while, I think, so. Also, we could have, if you're talking about questions and stuff, we could also have a lot of stuff related to Ukiyo Heroes. That's now part of Mokuhankan, of course. So there's the Ukiyo Heroes prints, a number of subscriptions we've done over the years. There's lots of grist for the mill if we're looking for questions and trivia, etc., etc. And then how to do the actual draw thing itself. If we had it so that there was a bunch of questions and all the people who got all the questions right, their name went into the hat. Is that okay? But if you got one of them wrong, then you're out. I don't know, that is sort of not fun. So maybe the way to do that was, suppose there was 5 questions or something like this. Then if you got all 5 right, your name goes into the draw 5 times. If you got 1 right, your name goes into the draw once. Something like this. That would be fair. You couldn't have people go through the questions and miss one and then they're out and they're gone. That wouldn't be fun. I don't know. Any ideas, please? Just feed ideas over the next few days. Throw them to my email or up on these challenges or whatever. So, like Ken is saying here, if it's too difficult, only the nerds, then you've only got like 3 people joining it. It's not fair. You could have something that people read about this on Facebook or something. We're going to post it all over the world, all over the web, and people read it about there, come to the contest page, and feel like, yeah, I could try this. We don't want it just to be for the hardcore people. But having said that, there should be stuff in there that only the hardcore people would get. I don't have a whole lot of time left to think about this, But there really should be some stuff in there that only I was going to say true fans, what's the word? Only the long-time fans knew, There's got to be stuff in there for the in crowd, Talk about the mascot or something or whatever, There's got to be a mix of stuff like that, What's the time? 14. I'm supposed to be doing a show and tell. Let's do this. Talk about getting any work done. Why is this octopus taking 55 years to make? Here we are. We got a show and tell, and I'm going to need your help for this. I know what it is, but I need more information. Are all of the gift prints available, or just chrysanthemum? I'm not sure what you're asking. You mean for the gift page this year? If you go to the gift page itself, woodblock.com/gift, you will see 8 prints featured there. But all of those prints are also in the normal Mocha Hong Kong catalog. The gift page is just a page that's sort of a historical legacy page. As soon as we put a print on the gift page, it goes into the Mocha Hong Kong catalog. If you go to our Mocha Hong Kong print shop right now, you'll see all of the prints over there. The gift page is just something that is a target for people who are looking for gifts. Where am I? Where am I? Okay, here we go. This is a book. I got this on open auction the other day, Yahoo auction. It was just in the Yahoo auctions. Nobody noticed it. Nobody saw it. It was just a little thing that came up on the side. Everybody ignored it. And it is a very, very nice. It's a little bit beaten up. It is a book. I opened it when it came yesterday. Oops, that's not it. It is a book. It is beaten up. It's an Edo book. An Edo era book, late Edo. And I think we're looking at the 1849 or something, 1849, I don't know. I think the book itself was first published earlier than that, somewhere around 1820s or 30s, but this particular edition is around 1849 or 50. And here's where I need your help. The characters are, this is kami, gods, shin. This is ji, koto, things, god things. And this is the combination for andon, and it's 3, and that's one of the characters that means volume, sam, pen. So it's Shinji, Kawai-san's here already. Oh my god, what time is it? 9:16. It's Shinji Andon Sam Pen, volume 3. And what I don't know is what on earth it's all about. Because what it is this. If you open it and go through, this is advertising. The publisher advertises a whole bunch of other stuff. And there's some fun stuff in here. Right here, that's Hokusai Gafu. I've got that back home. And in fact, that's here. You can do the dating and stuff on this because that one is 1850 or something. So this particular volume can't be earlier than that. The people who all know all of these things, they have the cross-reference when this was published, when that was published. Because what would happen is this book would have been published in X year. And they print it and print it and print it. But the advertising pages would change and change and change. So when new stuff comes into their catalog, when they do a new edition of this, of course the advertising page has the newer stuff in it. So the researchers who are on top of all of this kind of stuff can look in here and say, Hokusai Gafu is here, that was published 1849, so even though this is supposedly published 1830, it must be a later edition, 1849, stuff like that. I don't know all of these details. I just know the general outline. Anyway, what we have here is the book. It has a frontispiece, which presumably is an old Heian era lady with a cat. We have a view of a cat here. Let's go. And this is interesting printing. This is from an era, I guess it's about the same time as much of the Hokusai work's being done. And the European pigments are now starting to come in. So we've got a pigment here that could have some Prussian blue mixed into it. It's a bit of a bolder blue than you'll see in many of these old books. So this is the very beginning of the era when the Western influence is coming into the woodblock print manufacturing time. And the book itself is page after page after page of ladies doing things. You'd never touch this without gloves on. It's not that delicate, it's not that rare, it's not that sensitive. It's Japanese washi paper, printed. It's the same thing that I will be working on later today when I'm making my own prints. And I think the translation of the title, Shinji Andon Sanpei, is like Festival Lantern, volume 3 of the series called Festival Lanterns. It's kind of a poetic usage of the word. This is not all about festivals. And the content is women at all different walks of life doing things. We have a woman from the Yoshiwara parading. We have ladies collecting firewood. Anyway, the reason I asked you is if somebody can see, I think a bunch of the museums overseas have a bunch of copies of these. So there should be lots of information somewhere on various museum pages about what's actually happening here. We have two ladies here fighting. There's a letter. She's hitting her with a shoe. Her friends are restraining them. What has been discovered in the letter, I don't know. And it's nicely made, and it's the carving and printing is beautiful. This, I think, would have been a fairly early one because the blocks look like they're in really good condition. The book itself has been beaten up a lot, worm-eaten and patched and fixed. How come just 3 colors? Because it's a question of economics. The guy's trying to sell a book, the publisher. And if there's 9 colors per page as opposed to 3 colors per page, the book would have been much, much, much more expensive. Is this 3 or is it 4? We've got the key block. We have the pale blue. We have a darker blue. And then we have a peach color. Is that all you've got? Is it all done in the same 3? No, there's the red. There's the red. There's the vermilion. So what have we got here? We have vermilion, blue, light blue, darker blue, a peach color, and a sort of a browner tone. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus key block 6. The 6 that I can see is gray. That color there could be the gray on top of peach. I'm not quite sure how this works. We're looking at 5 or 6 colors here. And it's beautifully, beautifully soft. It's just so pleasant to feel and touch and enjoy. No, I think you're low. Somebody's found a link to this? It's in the Pulver collection. Yeah, it could be. He collected prime copies of nearly every high-quality book that was done in the Edo area. So absolutely this would be in the Pulver collection. Is there information about it, though? British Museum has some, too, I think. They've got the whole collection. We've got skin tone, light blue, dark blue, grey, and a sort of a brown color.
Good morning.
Kawai-san, hello, hello, hello. 北斎漫画じゃない、シンジ・アンドンという本。シンジ・アンドン、何っけな、あれの、シンジは何、神様のこと。
あ、シンジ。
そう、ごめん、僕の発音ね。アンドン、lantern reflection。
あ、アンドンだ、アンドン。
そう、これ、神事、神社の神道のことでしょ、神様のこと。アンドン、lantern。これ3ペ、volume 3、book 3でしょ。ですが、お祭りとか、神社のことじゃないみたいな。普通の、全部情勢ばっかりです。いろんな情勢、普通の生活の中にも祭りのこととか吉原のこといろいろ全然わからない。just pictures of women doing stuff。
なんか句みたいな、これ歌かな、声のかな。
歌かわからない。
歌じゃないか、五七五とかじゃないの。どこがこうしよう。
I don't know. Again, by showing these things before I look at look up the background data, I show myself as an idiot. I don't know. I don't pretend to know much about these. It's okay. But beautifully done. Beautifully done. What do you got? 5 volumes? Is there 5? I thought it was 4. Okay, it could be 5. I have 4 at home. This is now number 3 I've got. Is there 5? I didn't know that. 1829. Okay, that might be the original. This wouldn't be 1829. Absolutely, because as I said, there are books mentioned in the advertising here that were published after the 1850s, I believe. So this particular printing would not date from that time. The blocks would have been carved, whatever, at the publishing time. But this particular thing I'm holding in my hand would be from 1850s, is my amateur's guess here. And it's page after page after page after page. This is so nice, so pleasant to enjoy. When we get time, when we get time, we'll have a look at this, get some of these translated.
国吉
違う、Eizan? I don't know, is his name here?
わかんない。これがイコールかどうかわかんない。新次アンドンブランドン
そう、このものですね、このもの。このものも国吉じゃないと思いますよ。
じゃあ違うやつかもしれない。
Who's listed as the, in the one in the Pulver collection, who's listed as the, oh, it's a group. Okay, じゃあ国吉も入ってる。Eizan is the main guy.
エーセンとか、名前がいっぱいある。
そう。It's different artists. So,
川柳なのかな。
Senryu poetry. We're getting more information directly in here. The poems are Senryu poetry, which means satirical short snippets of poems, which would make sense. Why would the book be interesting? They're little sort of jokes and puns and satirical poetry with people doing things, you know. That would be fun to translate these. Senryu でしょ？
そうですね。いろんな種類があるみたいですね。なんか新次アンドン。
で今5冊までがあるみたいですな、このデータが。大博物館の中にあるものは5冊。
5冊。
もっとあるかどうかわからない。
新次アンドン。
So why the title? Festival Lanterns. How would you pronounce it? Shrine Lanterns.
ご神事の神のマナー。
I don't know. Remember, but in the old days when they're talking about the gods, the Shinto gods, those guys are supposed to be everywhere and in everything. So I don't know. Okay, now I get now why this will be interesting for people to buy. It's like we would buy a comic book or something today. These are, if they are satirical poems, then somebody has made a twist with a poem, like a pun or a joke, and the illustration makes sense for it. So it would have been a fun book to read, laughing and showing your friends, turn the page, look at the joke, look at the gag, one by one by one. The gags, of course, are completely lost to me. I'm sorry. And maybe, like we don't have enough to do here. It could be that some of these pictures could make a fun addition to our Hunger Club sections, you know? Especially if the poem was there with a nice translation. Shinji Andon Sompen. I think this is Sampen 3 to show Sampen. Yeah, title is Shinji Andon. That's it. That's what we see here. This is the same thing. This is Shinji Andon. And this is Sampen. Unless somebody's going to pronounce that as Som. I don't know. The gags are probably fun. They're probably really funny, you know. Two women doing their makeup side by side. The possibilities there are endless. Two women making mochi and stuff together. But it's always women. There's no guys anywhere in the book here, I don't see. I'm not even halfway through the book yet. They just go on and on and on. This looks like a massage lady. The lady here has got her eyes closed, indicating she's blind. This is somebody else getting a massage. It would be really fun to get this translated. If they made any sense. I'm assuming they would make any sense. This is a geisha shamisen put to bed for a minute. She's serving sake to the guest in the tea house in brackets. Page after page after page. British Museum's got it? Yes, I thought they had a copy. So, is there information out? That would be fun to get some translations of these poems. Another cat. Make your own captions. Yeah, caption contest. Oh! Caption contest. I wonder I wonder. Caption contest. Would that make sense to do for our 5th anniversary? Might that make sense? Let me work on this. I'll have a look through this. That might make sense. That might make sense. We're too busy. We're too busy to get involved in this stuff. I don't even know what most of these people are doing. This must be, I'm going to take a fly here. This is probably that moxibustion, is it? You get a heated little kind of stuff and you put it in your legs or back and fix something. My guess, and that's medicine that comes in a little paper packet like this. So I guess there's a medical treatment going on here. That would be fun, a caption contest. We've only got 1 week to get this set up and running, you know. There's a lady, look at this. Is she inviting, it's winter, she's inviting the cat into the kotatsu. Or letting it out of the kotatsu, whatever. Another cat. There's cats all over the place. Cats must have been a real pet deal back in every time, you know. Cats must have been a thing. Oh, dogs. Pet dogs. These look like mamiski. Anyway, enough. I gotta get to work. Okay, there's lots of ideas here. Let's cooking. Throw me ideas if you want to by email or whatever. Anything you've got. This cost me 4,000 and I think 4,200 yen. It was up there. That was the opening price. Nobody noticed it. Nobody bid on it. Nobody cared. I don't have any idea what it's worth. It's certainly worth 4,000 yen to me, just for the fun and enjoyment of touching and owning such a thing from the past, you know, whatever. Okay, we are out of the way here. What is it? It's 9:30 now. Okay, next stream will be Monday morning. As I mentioned, there will be a guest here. Calvin Carlisle will be here, hopefully showing some new prints he's made, hopefully. And he says he's got something from John Amos to show me. I shouldn't tease this because I don't know what it is, but John is almost getting near the end of his Appalachian Trail project, and maybe if there's the first one. I mean, we've had an open order with John to buy it, so maybe. I shouldn't get my hopes up too high. See what it is. Anyway, there we are. See you on Monday morning. Oh, more auction goods. Yeah, good morning. Good. Yeah. Onegaishimasu. Thank you. I scored a bunch of stuff over the past couple of days. Some really, we'll have to save it for later. There's some interesting show and tell coming up over the next couple of weeks, although some of it is too big to put on the desk here. Okay, I'm out of here. Thank you very much, guys. See you Monday morning, same time, same station, right now, minus 90 minutes. See you there. Thanks so much. It's going to be a busy day.